Okay, no problem. So then we're going to hear from Taina from the Downtown Alliance. Taina Prado.
Hi, Tammy.
Hey, well,
Yes, thank you. So I'm here tonight to give a brief statement relating to the resolution before you tonight in reference to our wayfinding improvement proposal. To start, the Alliance takes issue with the notion that the project is motivated by a desire to promote our own brand identity in the district. That is simply untrue. The existing Heritage Trail markers are literally crumbling and rotting to the ground, which was acknowledged by some committee members at the meeting. We've already had to remove 7 out of the 26 due to decay, public safety concerns, and dictates from the city, leaving only 19 on the street. But we didn't want to just address the pressing need to replace the stanchions. We saw this as an opportunity to modernize the text to better reflect the complex and diverse history. To follow the Public Design Commission guidelines, we engaged a professional historian from the Museum of City of New York to revise the historical content on each marker based on its location and include more inclusive representation of Native Americans, African Americans, and LGBTQ. Separate from the PDC, the board to know that this project was given strong direction from DOT, our agency partner. They asked us to find replacements in kind that replicate the existing stanchions, plaques, and orientation columns, which precludes a design competition. They want the stanchions to look like the existing ones with modern and durable materials. They also feel the logo is important for the public to report maintenance and other issues to us. That said, we heard the committee's feedback and are willing to make changes based on the suggestions. Using Lower Manhattan rather than downtown, minimizing logo size, incorporating more images, and exploring the use of QR codes or a similar digital platform. Given the guidance and restraints provided by DOT to us and the changes we are willing to make, we hope that you will pass a favorable resolution tonight. We are and have been willing stewards of these markers because we believe they serve an important purpose to help people learn more about our rich history and navigate the area with the maps. Hopefully, we can replace and update these markers and avoid having to continually remove them due to decay. Thank you so much.
thank you, Taina. Can you stay on for a quick sec?
Absolutely. Sure.
I heard what you read, and I have some questions.
Sure. Okay.
Can you tell me when you are going to PDC so we understand whether or not what our discussion and timelines are? When is PDC going to review this?
Yes. Give me one. I have it here. So our plan is to submit the application to PDC in next month in May. They then get a month to review that information, and then we present to the commission in June. And if approved, hopefully approved, we would then begin installation in the fall, early fall.
So one of the things, I don't know if you can answer this question now, or you can let us know later, is of course we'd like to opine. The information you've given tonight is a direct feedback to where we are with the resolution. Would you be, would it be an option to come back to the committee in May and not go to PDC until the end of May so we can review the new information, do a resolution, and then you would go to PDC for your presentation with an updated resolution based on the information you gave us tonight?
Okay, so what I will do is I definitely will, I can't answer you, I need to speak with somebody actually about the process with PDC. I could say that we would be, willing and interested. Obviously, we'd want to go to the PDC with a more positive resolution. But I just need to check the process and the timing for that. And then I'm assuming that the committee, the Parks, Waterfront, and Culture Committee is usually towards the end of May. So I can definitely follow up with you and Diana and to do that.
Yeah, that sounds great. I appreciate that. I can, if you come back, if you hang on for a bit, I can tell you when our May for Waterfront and Parks.
Sure, absolutely.
I'm happy to hang that.
Hopefully everything would line up, right? So that's sure.
Exactly. So I appreciate that. And then did I hear you correctly?
Yeah.
You saying that you were given specific direction by DOT?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they're our agency partner. They actually will be submitting the application on our behalf. They're the the agency that communicates and deals with PDC directly for this project for us. So we do, I guess, the legwork and the facilitating, and they do sort of the heavy lifting with PDC. So we've been working closely with them and the staff there to come up with the plan that was presented to the committee in terms of the design and, you know, the other components with the other wayfinding plaques and the columns. So yes, DOT has been working with us hand in hand, and it is actually them who, you know, presents this information to, this proposal rather, to PDC.
Did they set the parameters?
Yes. It was made very clear to us that they wanted this, the fact that, you know, this issue came up in terms of the maintenance and replacement came up, that they wanted it to be, referencing replicating the existing design and have it be in kind. So have the three pieces that we're talking about, have them be replaced in kind.
Okay. Thank you very much for the information.
Sure.
Our meeting it gave me an opportunity to check. Our Waterfront Parks and Culture Committee is May 18th. So if you can get back to us and let us know if it gives us an idea of what we can do in the business session.
Okay. Thank you so much. And just maybe since you're looking at the calendar, can you tell me when the full board would be?
The 25th of the month.
Okay, before the holiday.
Yes.
Okay, great. So
thank
you so much.
Okay. Thank you for your patience, everybody.
Sure.
We asked Taina these questions now because during the business session, we're not supposed to ask her questions. So as long as she opened the door and read a lovely statement, thought I'd get it all in there. Okay. Thank you very, very much.
Okay, so next we're going to talk about the issue that was discussed a little bit in public session, replacement of wayfinding signs by the Downtown Alliance in conjunction with DOT. So they came before the committee and presented their plan. Basically what they told us, as you already heard, was that the signs were decayed and in need of replacement, and there were only 26 of them remaining from the originals that were put up, I guess, in the 90s, I believe, or maybe before then. And so during the course of that discussion, and just for the record, they need to go to the Public Design Commission to gain approval before they could move forward with this. So we had a lot of discussion of this in committee. There were a lot of concerns raised that are listed in the resolution. Well, here before you, you could just see the signage or some of the examples of the signage. The old existing signage is on the left-hand side. The changes are on the right-hand side. Some people, for example, objected to the logo for the Downtown Alliance going in all the new signs. There were concerns about referring to this area as downtown as opposed to lower Manhattan, which had always been the case. There were certainly a lot of comments about whether they adequately did historic research on their signage and whether there was proper signage to recognize the contributions of different groups that are less traditional for lower Manhattan, that some of them are covered in our resolution. I know some people suggested a public design commission. That was Alice. To come up. So basically one of the big complaints, frankly, was that this was the first time the community board was seeing this proposal, and they hadn't come to us and gotten any input from the community on this. And instead they came with a proposal that they are ready to present to the Public Design Commission. So after discussion in committee, the committee did come up with the resolution before you. The majority of the people wanted to say no unless you make changes. as you heard earlier, it sounds as though the alliance is open to the idea of possibly delaying, although we didn't get a very, didn't she say she had to go back to talk to somebody to get a definitive answer to that question? So,
She did, but she also, in their statement for what they read, there is much of the things that we have asked for that they agreed to, so we should check with the parliament. I'm gonna defer to the parliamentarian, Patrick. Sorry, Pat, I'm going to Patrick, not you, Mr. Kettering. I apologize because you might have to recuse yourself on this one.
I will, yes.
Yep, but I think that we may want to table this till next month with the understanding that they said that they would come back.
I would say, I mean, that sounds like a reasonable solution. I don't think it's as much a parliamentary issue as it is what does Paul think the sense of the committee was. In other words, will revisions that Tina was talking about substantially alter the resolution such that passing it is sort of moot at this moment anyway?
I actually was thinking of a slightly different approach,
Do tell.
which was to adopt the resolution, but to add a be it resolved that Community Board 1 would be very open to having a follow-up meeting in next month to discuss this, assuming that this does not proceed without such a meeting taking place, and forward to trying to resolve these issues at that session, something along those lines. But I think it wouldn't be bad to at least, make this officially.
So, but the problem is this resolution is a denial. So when it goes to the Public Design Commission, it's going to say it's not approved. They've come back and changed it. So that's why I'm asking for a ruling on that kind of a thought.
Well, we could say we will consider this resolution following that discussion at our next meeting.
I mean, I guess the question is based on the presentation that was given to the committee, Paul, there's nothing in the resolution that's wrong based on that presentation. It sounds like the information that Tina presented tonight is different from what the committee heard originally.
I wasn't able to go item by item to see how many of them she covered and didn't, to be honest.
My point being that
it's an update to to this. So she responded to the concerns of the constituency of the resolution in some, not all. Justine, I see you waving, but do me a favor and put your hand up. And we're gonna go to committee for questions. Susan, and then Justine, and then Mitch. After Patrick. Patrick, you want to let them go first?
Yeah.
Okay. Susan, Cole, Mitch, Justine.
My suggestion would be that we at least pass it. I like Paul's idea of going on record. I want to hear what Patrick has to say, but I don't want it to go to the commission. I didn't feel comfortable enough with what she said. So I don't know how you get around it, but I think we have to do something in some way. Because it's not that I'm mistrustful, but I don't know that they're going to come back to us or any of those things. So how do we work that out, Patrick, legally, and go on record that these are our concerns, we're not against it? And I'd just like to make a little snide comment. How about regular street signs? No street has a friggin' sign in our neighborhood. You don't know whether you're on Vestry or anything else. That's it.
Stay on topic. Stay on topic.
I'll defer to the Transportation Committee on that one.
Okay, that's it.
Next, after Susan, is Mitch Froman, then Justine.
Hi, I wanted to ask one question first to Paul, and then I want to just make a comment. Paul, was there any push? I support everything you just said the main thing that I noticed was they left out the signs for the trains, the train stations. And I was just wondering, was there any, in your committee, was there any pushback about that specific thing?
Mm, I mean, people did say that additional signs covering additional areas might
Oh, no,
be.
like the previous sign, the original sign had, I mean, because I just looked at practicality more than how to get to Francis Tavern, but that's just my opinion. The second thing is, you made a really good point, and where a city agency will come to our committee meeting, and it's happened a lot with the Transportation Committee, it's happened a lot with the Quality of Life Committee, basically under the guise of community discussion and input, but they've really come already with a done deal. And I think that point, like if we could, like as a collectively as a board, that's something that I know that it really irks a lot of us. And it, you know, you crystallized it. You know, it's really like not, it's not bait and switch, because they're not baiting and switching. They're just saying it's like almost how do I say it? So that they can say they came to the community board, so they look good on paper when they go back to their agency, but it's really already a done deal instead of coming first before they have you know what I'm talking about, Tammy and Paul, right?
Honestly, Mitch, I think in this instance, I think you're
Sandy has to go hear a show, go
Bruce?
set up, she's
Bruce.
having a show to,
Bruce,
in the
you're
fall.
Bruce, you're mute. You're not muted. Somebody mute Bruce. I mean, Mitch has a point here, and what Mitch is saying is how they came to us. I considerably DOT approach, which is why I asked her in the public session, and if Taina's on, she can speak for herself, but DOT approached Downtown Alliance to do it because they didn't want to pay for it.
Okay.
So there was no public process in any of it. And so the Downtown Alliance came to us,
Okay.
and that's how we got here today.
I'm just, I guess when what Paul said just kind of evoked, like, I'm making a general point that happens a lot when they come to the committees. Maybe this is not the perfect example, but you know what I'm talking about. All right.
All right, thanks, Mitch. Justine, you're next.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, and then I've got Mariama, Mark, Wendy, and oh my gosh, after Justine, we're going to hear from Mimi because she hasn't spoken once. And
Okay.
then Wendy, because she hasn't spoken either. Thank you.
All right, so I'll be quick. So I agree. I agree with Mitch and I agree with Paul. I think this needs to, and Susan, I guess, too. This resolution needs to be passed because the way I read this, therefore, be it resolved, is it's not saying, go away, drop dead, you're terrible. It just says, we don't support the proposal as presented, and we ask the DOT and the Downtown Alliance to come back after taking stuff into consideration. That's reasonable, and if we want to add in something else that, Paul, you were trying to like wordsmith as you were talking, fine. But just to basically say, we want these things here that the committee put time and effort into looking at and talking about. I mean, I was at the meeting, I'm not part of the committee, but and then after that, if it has to be followed up with another resolution saying, okay, great. Downtown Alliance came to us, DOT came to us, and they presented whatever they present, and we love it. Lovely. We do 2 resolutions. That's my point. Go ahead, Mimi.
Thank
Thank you.
yes, I agree with everybody. I've got to say the therefore be it resolved with the I think the points are great. I think the points could also be like prefaced by I don't know, I guess this might be like a friendly amendment, I'm not sure. That like we should be treated as stakeholders, that they should get requirements from us as the community for the signage that they intend to put in our community. I think that's sort of described here. And then things are listed out. But yeah, I think that being like really clear that they need to make sure to get requirements for such signage from us is important.
I have breaking news. I did hear from the Downtown Alliance, and they will postpone going to PDC. So put that in your hat, and thank you, Mimi. Did I interrupt you? Finish your sentence. Sorry, breaking news I wanted to share.
No, that's it. That's pretty much just to make it really clear that they need to come before us, because it sort of feels like the bullet points take away from that. It's more like the bullet points are an example of requirements we would have given them and that we would like, to work as partners.
I have no objection to adding something, as several people have now suggested, that a better effort be made to consult with the community board before a final proposal is
But
established.
isn't that what this is? Isn't that why they came?
It's what it's evolving into, but when they came to us, they said they were presenting it next month to PDC. So that's not the same thing.
Okay. So who was next? Wendy and then Jeff Galloway.
I was going to lower my hand because I think that the delaying this is the right answer. I think the biggest problem with all of this is a project that nobody wants, and the Downtown Alliance got saddled with it, and the committee is talking about, and a lot of the good points were that this is a citywide effort, it should be thoughtful, it should be broad, and the Downtown Alliance was saying, we're going to make this narrow, we're going to keep it simple, we're going to do what, we're going to replace the same signs, we're going to do, what we're required to do and nothing else, because we don't want to pay for this, but we will pay for this and we will maintain it. So it's the committee wants to make this broad and citywide and expand it, and the Downtown Alliance wants to make it small and as painless as possible. So I think it's great to give feedback, because the biggest feedback is they broadly showed us a couple signs, and I thought it was terrible. There were almost no pictures on any of the signs that they showed us. But the other piece of that is that they don't want to expand this project. They want to do as little as possible. And because they're paying, that's the problem here. So
Did you
I'm
hear
glad it's being delayed.
Taina said that they were actually, I asked in the public session when she presented, she said they were told.
Right, exactly. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm not saying that they have to keep it small, because that's what they're in a box. And the big discussion in the committee meetings was that committee members wanted to make it a contest or bigger, or consult broader groups of people. And that's what they're saying, that's just not going to be possible. So anyway, it's just, I wanted people who weren't in the meeting to understand it a little better. Thanks.
Perfect. Jeff, you're next, and then I've got 3 other hands up.
I was going to suggest, I'd be happy tabling this and simply readdressing it whenever they come back with a revised proposal, or alternatively, perhaps keeping it exactly as it is, but adding a sort of final whereas that would read something along the lines of, whereas a representative appeared at the CB1 monthly meeting, or at the April CB1 monthly meeting, and expressed willingness to take account of CB1's comments and concerns and to present a revised wayfinding proposal at the May CB1 waterfront, whatever meeting. And then simply state the concerns that we've listed there, which she did address many of those concerns, not all of them, but certainly most of them in her comments. But I think the resolution is otherwise still appropriate, even if they're going to come back. You have in writing now what the concerns are, and she said orally that they were taking them into account. So that would be my suggestion, and I can make it as a request for a friendly amendment to add that whereas.
So Paul, we have a friendly amendment, and we have to consider. I'm still also, after you vote on that, going to make a motion to table. So those are the 2 that you've got to go through first and foremost.
Well, Jeff's suggestion is similar to what I was suggesting, which is to just say that we're pleased that we'll have another opportunity to review changes, and we look forward to that. We could say something along those lines, but, just make it clear that we perhaps add in there, we appreciate that the Downtown Alliance has decided to delay this, giving the community board some opportunity. We also appreciate that they've addressed some of our concerns. We look forward to discussing this one more time in May.
That's fine. That's,
You've accepted the friendly amendment.
We could work out the very detailed language later.
I'm gonna call for a motion to table, which you need to
I mean,
do.
I have a comment still before that, if that's all right.
No, because my motion to table came up first. So let's see if we go there first and then we'll go, because I've come back to the same place I was before based on an email that came in from Jessica Lappin saying that they would wait. So,
I'll second it.
We do a roll call, please, on this. Roll call, please.
so Brittany, there's a roll call for the motion to table. You're on.
Great. And Marisa?
No, do not table.
Okay. Burton? Oh, I'm sorry, they're out. Brown Kennedy?
Abstain.
Cameron?
Do not table.
So opposed?
Yes.
Cassell?
Cassell table.
Cassell. Chang?
Chang table.
Chapman?
Yes, table. This is Chapman.
Kudian?
For Kudian, yes.
Cole?
No, don't table.
Kuchia?
Kuchia, do not table.
Cunningham?
Cunningham abstain.
Curtis?
Curtis abstains.
Airman? Airman? Okay, Flynn? Flynn?
Flynn table.
Franker?
Franker table.
Friedman?
Min table.
Oh, shoot, my list just went away. Sorry, my vote sheet just went away. 1 second. Okay, Froman?
Froman, no, not table.
While we're
Galloway.
waiting, may the members please say yay, nay, abstain, or recuse. That makes it clear for our record keeping.
did you hear my vote?
Froman, were you yes or no or what?
That was Galloway making clarification.
I didn't call you yet. 1 second, Galloway. Froman?
Froman, nay.
Okay, thank you. Galloway?
Yes. Galloway, yes.
Great. Goldstein?
Say no.
James?
James abstains.
Joyce?
Joyce abstains.
Kay?
Hey, yes.
Cannell?
Canal, yes.
Tring?
Kettering, recuse.
Capel?
Capel, no.
Clemente?
Clements abstain.
Lamoury?
Lamoury, nay.
Lerner?
Lerner abstains.
Lewinson?
No.
Mahoney?
Can you come back to me?
Sure. McHugh? McHugh? Okay, Meltzer? Okay, McHugh was a no. Got it. Meltzer?
Absolutely, yes. I'm the one who proposed it.
Myhawk?
Nay.
Jovi?
No.
Moore?
Yes.
Schneck? Sung?
Abstain.
Wade, no. Z? Z? Okay, Zelter?
Zelter abstain.
Okay. Do we have Z, Mahoney,
Mahoney, yes.
just give us 1 second. Okay, so we have 14 in favor, 13 opposed, 9 abstaining, and 1 recused.
All right.
The motion failed.
So can I recommend that we try to go for a vote on the resolution with that amendment that we discussed?
I can second that if I, or yes, I agree with you.
I still have a comment.
I'd love to hear from Mark.
Justine, stay muted. I'm getting there. Mark, Jeff, your hand is up for second round. Justine, if you need to go, that's fine as well.
Okay to go,
After-
Tammy?
Yes, thank you, Mark,
Okay,
for your
cool.
patience.
So we discussed this a little bit at committee. I brought it up. I'd just like to add a bullet point with regards to, because when we were talking, when they didn't seem like to have a grasp on that they maybe should have hired some more historians to really kind of research what needs to be on these signs. And I brought up just one example. First Italian to land on in New York. There's a plaque in Battery Park City about him, Peter Alberti. So that's just one example of many examples that they need to look at to put on these signs. So I just thought maybe adding a bullet point of should we have the history of immigration and historical persons as well. And we did discuss it in committee. I mean, that's part of Lower Manhattan history, so it's not here on the bullet points.
I know.
I'm confused. What's your ask?
What's confusing? Tell me.
Do you want
they
also
have-
add a bullet point? I thought we did cover consulting other historians in there.
They have
Yeah,
a higher.
but then it's specifically asking for these things that are listed in consulting the historians. There's merely needs to be more subjects that need to be consulted on, including immigration
Just
and
add the
historical
word,
persons.
including historically marginal people. So it's
Well,
not.
some of the historical people are not marginal. It's just his history. So
Didn't they say they were already doing that?
I don't know. They seem confused about some of this subject. So, and it's just a simple, just to include immigration and historical persons. That's
Okay.
it. That's it. It's not. I don't think it's
All
controversial.
right, fine, let's keep going, fine. Just-
Andrew, you've been quiet. You're next. I'm
Right,
calling
that's
out.
accepted, right?
Yes.
I just wanted to ask a point of clarification. My understanding is that these 26 signs were specifically related to the Freedom Trail. Is that correct?
I don't really remember that specific answer.
So I could be wrong, but I thought the scope of this was specifically linked to the Freedom Trail. And
it is.
I think a lot of what's being proposed is expanding beyond the scope of the Freedom Trail, which may be fine. But I think what they came forward with was a project to essentially replace, upgrade, renovate signage that was put in place years ago to call out or highlight the Freedom Trail.
Correct. And Taina is here, so we can ask her questions if we need to. But yes, that is what they stated, both then and today.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Next.
Hey, Tammy, I'm sorry, just a point of order for procedure. The proposed amendment was accepted after the resolution was tabled, so I'm not going to report on it. I suggest that it be done in committee.
The friendly amendment was accepted before the table vote. The table vote was turned down, and Mark's friendly amendment was also added, which is fine.
I thought table vote passed. Okay, thanks.
The vote did not pass.
My
Okay,
fault.
Colin, that's okay.
Yeah, somebody like, please, thanks.
That's okay. All right, so I think we've gotten everybody. Colin's gone, Andrew's gone, Mark is gone. We've gotten everybody on first round. I'm gonna say call the question.
I would second that.
So, because, oh, wait, Joe, I apologize. I just saw your hand up and down. Joe, what's up?
I just thought the Freedom Trail was an aside to all this that was going on. I don't think it was a major point that was made at the time.
That's what the signs are for.
All right, I think we could still call the question.
Okay. All right. So.
Question.
You
Yeah, I was
want
gonna say roll call or?
I don't think we need yet another roll call. Do you?
Can we just clarify which friendly amendments we've accepted? I think I might have lost track.
We accepted the very first friendly amendment. Colin, you have the notes on that?
It's the one that I made with, Paul was going to wordsmith it, basically reciting the fact that they showed up at the meeting and said they were receptive to taking account of our concerns, and they were going to come back with a revised proposal.
So I might just clarify that. I don't know that in the meeting itself, they indicated they would come back with a revised proposal. I think they commented they would take away our concerns. And again, it may just be in the wordsmithing.
I have an email that came in while we were on the call from Jessica Lappin.
Right.
While we were here now, that says they would be willing to come back in May.
And I did hear that. I guess I was just commenting, and it may be too fine a distinction. I thought Jeff was saying they represented in the meeting that they would come back with an alternate proposal, and I don't recall that being part of the meeting. But to your point, something that came in after the fact.
We'll make sure it reflects that we learn that the Downtown Alliance is now willing to come back.
You also need to reflect the fact that the Downtown Alliance sent a note with updates and changes as well.
And if you want to pass that along so we know which issues were addressed, maybe we can even mention them.
She did it in the public session today. I'll ask for
Well,
the.
I didn't take notes, sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry, just with all the back and forth, I don't know what the amended language is, so could someone please put the finalized amended language in the chat?
Yep, we'll get it to you. Jeff Galloway, please send it to the host so that can come through.
Thank you.
And
Subject to, I mean, Paul may very well want to wordsmith it. I mean, I have my language, but Paul had some variations, but I'll send my language momentarily into the chat.
Okay.
Thank you. Brittany, Paul, take the vote.
Okay, so just to clarify, is this roll call or we're taking it all opposed, abstain, that type of thing?
We'll see how it goes.
Okay. So, Amoruso?
Sorry. Yes.
Okay.
Tammy, could you just, I'm not sure what the vote is for. If we say yes, we're voting for the resolution that Paul wrote?
Yes, with that one addition.
Thank you, thank you.
Two amendments, mine and Jeff's.
Okay, yes, thank you.
Okay. Could I just say, could we just vote like we do? It's fast.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think we're okay. Just like say who's objecting, who's not.
Yes.
Yeah.
So any opposed?
I vote for that.
Okay. Any
Sorry.
opposed?
Abstention, Curtis abstains.
Okay,
Any
but
abstains?
before that, any opposed?
Oh, no, I thought you said that.
Okay, any abstain? So you
Curtis
said
abstained.
Okay,
Yes.
who else is abstaining?
Frank Kerr abstains.
Frank Kerr. And
Schneck abstains.
Schneck.
Kay
Okay.
abstains.
Brown Kennedy
abstains.
Okay. Brown Kennedy, I got.
Cannell
Did you get
abstains.
K? Yes, I got K.
Thank you.
Cannell, I have.
Meltzer.
Any other abstentions? Nope, sir. Okay.
Chang abstains.
Flynn.
Lynn and Chang I have. Any other abstentions? Recusals?
Kettering recuses.
Got it. Anyone else?
You would have to have Bruce say his vote since he didn't vote on the tabled resolution.
Okay. Bruce, what's your vote?
By the way, Cunningham recuses.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
And Kumet
Airman?
as well.
Okay, Clementis I have. Recusal, got it. And it doesn't sound like Bruce is here.
Right, he's here, but he's not responding.
Yeah, okay, we're good.
Okay, should I move along?
Oh, please. No offense intended.